So that's where he is?
Yes, down that hallway.
It's a long one, but okay.
A few moments later.
So, you're the one blocking the door.
Oh yes, I've been waiting for you two. Who the hell are you?
I'm the Phil clone of JonFawkes, the creator of everything wrong with Ruby. That crap fest? And what the hell are you doing here anyways?
Why the hell would someone clone JonFawkes?
Because with this doctor's computer, I can download my consciousness into the internet and force everyone to acknowledge me as the best. And if they refuse, I can simply destroy the computers with a flick of the wrist.
But your threat is cyber terrorism.
And besides, JonFawkes would never do that. But I'm not the real one, am I? I'm superior to him in every way. I will succeed, and no one will stop me.
So why are you wasting time talking to us?
Because this door is locked with a passcode and I can't open it until I crack the code. So we have time to stop you then. Go ahead and try. You won't stop me.
Wanna bet?
Try and stop this then. This series showcases the absolute problems with Ruby. It can't be countered. And when I unlock this door, I will kill you two before I enter it.
So, 3 commentaries then.
Yep.
Very well, I'll go first, then you handle the second one, then go up on the final one. Sounds like a plan. Good, because we need to stop this man at all costs. Indeed. So yeah, this is JonFawkes. He made a rip-off of CinemaSins Everything Wrong with series, but used Ruby instead of movies. Now before anyone starts, we are aware that these videos are old. But given how this score has barely shown into improvement since this point, we think it's good enough material to reap into. Even in 2017. Now that we got that out of the way, let's begin. You couldn't even do this part right, could you? Let's dissect the problems with this perverty intro, shall we? First off, the audio from the material is not synced up properly. In a CinemaSins video, the audio is played during the scene where the source material's title is used and after the with text. Jesus Christ, that is basic and you couldn't even do that right. Second of all, you don't even focus on the title for the whole intro bit. It just shows the text and then plays the rest of the intro. You couldn't have taken a screenshot while having the audio play or something? I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but when you can't even do the simplest thing in a CinemaSins parody, what does that say about the rest of the video?
Narration.
Wait, that's it? Not even gonna say why it's bad? Okay. Yeah, how dare writers try to introduce the world to the audience and also explain the manpower that our characters utilize throughout the series. They're worse than Hitler. Oh, but CinemaSins says narration is seen as bad too. Yeah, and it's just as stupid when they bring it up. Your point?
I said, put your hands in the air, now!
This guy's a terrible thief.
Yeah, and Ruby is ruining her ears by having the music be loud enough for everyone else to hear. See? I can make substanceless complaints too. Doesn't make it okay.
Where did the guy that she tackled out the window go? That was totally necessary.
It's almost like this scene is trying to establish the over-the-top and flashy nature of the series or something. Nah, that's just stupid. Jeez, killing me off every second? What's wrong with you? And that's because you keep making stupid points about every minor thing every few seconds. Didn't you do that earlier with the introduction? Yeah, but that doesn't disprove my point though that he's also nitpicking. Just means I'm a hypocrite. Boo-hoo.
Where did she come from?
The hell?
Where did she come from?
Where did she go? Where did she come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
They was pointless.
No, you had a valid issue here. I just wanted to have some fun with it.
You know what fun is, right? You the dick.
And what is an adorable girl such as yourself doing at a school designed to train warriors?
Excellent question.
A few moments later.
Well, I want to be a huntress.
You want to slay monsters?
Yeah.
Seriously? Cutting out context? You don't happen to work for mainstream media, do you? I mean, your acting's on par with the newscaster, but, just curious. And why am I getting this feeling that Red Panda's gonna kick my ass later because of this? Meh, probably nothing.
I just want to be a normal girl with normal knees.
Main character wanted to be normal cliché.
You do realise that cliches became cliches because it was good enough to be copied, right? So, how is this bad? Because it's not executed well? Oh, wait, it's bad because it's overdone, that's it? Wow, what a weak and flat complaint to make.
This guy's totally not important.
It's like meeting new people, but better.
Introvert.
And this is a bad thing because screw you, I don't need to explain shit.
No burn damage whatsoever.
Auras. They exist to protect the user from shit like that. In fact, it's later explained in this volume what Aura does. The explanation is not new in this scene though because it was meant to be a comedic scene. Yet you still bitched about it anyways. JJ.
Where am I
I supposed to find another nice, quirky girl to talk to?
There she is.
And speaking of comedic scenes, here's another one that you take seriously.
But your time at this school will prove...
Wait, so what exactly was that speech supposed to accomplish?
I don't know, especially when you cut off the rest of it to insert your whining. The point of the speech was to inspire the students to take initiative, or the first step as Austin puts it, in seeking knowledge at Beacon, which also includes experience in the field of combat, a trait that none of the students have much of as of this point in the series. That's simple. Oh wait, I'm talking to someone who nitpicks over comedic scenes. My bad. And some of mine were just the you nitpicks. Really? I barely noticed because your tone in these jokes is the exact goddamn same as your serious tone. Christ, Will Smith and Off to Earth put more effort into his delivery than you did.
It's about a man with two souls, each fighting for control over his body.
Oh, yeah.
Is she reading what's left of me?
Feel lovely.
Red versus blue? Harry Potter?
How? How is that a sin? You can't just randomly throw out references and call that a sin. Hell, even when CinemaSins does references to other media in their videos, they usually do it after the sin total and end screen, and even then, they're not sending the movie for. That's just them goofing around with certain scenes. Christ!
Unfortunately, the real world isn't the same as a fairy tale.
Well, that's why we're here.
Naive optimism.
Because screw positivity, am I right? We should never be all depressing and realistic in a show with weapons turning into guns. Also, Ruby, despite having the power to make things better, is naive because I say so. Pathetic.
The angle of her face suggests she's running in one direction, while the motion lines in the background suggest another direction.
No, it doesn't. If you're running forward, everything around you moves to the left. This is basic movement. Hell, a simple jog or walk would indicate that. How is this a sin when they are executing movement properly?
Even get me started on your fighting.
The Deathstalker barely struggles this entire time. Don't even get me started on the Nevermore.
Oh, Deathstalker, you should be able to move despite almost your entire body being frozen. It's just a minor inconvenience. Also, David, why the hell did Detective 2 Volume still like why? She's amazing in this volume, because her character is expanded upon in Volume 2. Whatever. My eyes waifu is clearly better than your cat waifu. Hey, come on, we all know Yang is best waifu. Shut up, Fox.
I know the plan exactly, even though I was nowhere near you guys.
What? She was getting out of the way because Weiss was charging at her. What, do you want to just stand there and get hit by Weiss? I mean, that would be entertaining, but still. Besides, Ruby and Blake fill her in on the plan when she gets over there anyways.
Ridiculously epic maneuver. Not really a sin, I just wanted to highlight it.
And for this epic maneuver, you don't lose a sin, but I do get to waste your time with the useless interjection.
What exactly is the significance of these cards?
Their currency. The numbers give it away too. Unless Roman pays his goons in Monopoly money, which wouldn't surprise me given the shit he does, but yeah, there you go.
Schnee brand toothpaste. Lewd fiction. Or would it be non-fiction?
Is it fiction or is it non-fiction? Yeah, that's an intelligent point to make. Besides, let's face it, the only action Blake will get in her life is when she's cutting up enemies. Well, there's her and Wukong. Ha! That's about as likely as any of the Team Ruby ships becoming canon. Face it, she doesn't want his son Wudong. Now where was I?
That's wrong, by the way.
What is?
So, not only are you daft at paying attention, but shall I say blind? She was clearly pointing at the paper, or to be more specific, the answer on the paper. But given that the episode is about Weiss not accepting Ruby as a leader, I would not be surprised if she was pointing to Ruby. Wouldn't put past her. But didn't you say that last bit was a joke? See? It's easy to change your tone of voice. Why couldn't you do that during your attempts at comedy?
Where is she going at this time of night?
Jay, I wonder where someone in their regular clothes is going to at this time of night. It's not like pajamas exist in this world or something. Where's my depression meds?
She's been having this recurring dream for nearly a month now.
How does Ren know this dream so vividly?
Given how earlier in the series Nora was talking Ren's ear off, it's very much plausible that Nora told Ren about her dreams when he woke up.
We can train up here after class.
This seems like a good training spot.
I got my hands on some fake transcripts, and I lied.
Beacon's screening process probably needs a reworking.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. I would have never knew that without your help. Also, remember this for the next scene I'm about to play.
I'm sure our leader knows exactly what he's doing.
Why is she so angry?
Play the clip.
I got my hands on some fake transcripts, and I lied.
One of her friends and the leader of her gold-down team lied to her about getting in legally. How is this hard to interpret? Hell, you literally played the explanation just a few seconds ago. How do you screw this up?
You called me friend. Am I really your friend?
Reading into things much?
Not really. When someone you just met calls you friend,
take care, friend.
That would throw someone off for a bit. So Penny's reaction/response makes sense here. Also, Penny is an adorable cinnamon roll that must be protected at all costs. Yeah, a little too late for that. Well, shit.
You want
to know why I despise the White Fang? It's because they're a bunch of liars, thieves, and murderers!
Weiss is the definition of racist.
White Fang isn't a race, it's a gang. Faunus is a race, but she didn't refer to the Faunus in that sentence, now did she?
Nobody saw this coming.
Nobody saw this coming. You'll see the money's.
Nope.
If you're gonna hold someone up with a sword, put the blade side to their throats.
John, both sides of that sword are sharp and will have the blade edge to it. In fact, most swords have both edges be sharp.
Do you have any idea of how long we've been searching for you? 12 hours.
12 hours?
I've had
But earlier they said she'd been gone the whole weekend. Even Sen mentions 2 days of separation.
Searching for Blake. They spent 12 hours searching for Blake. It's that simple. Again, I'm talking to the same guy who spells Sun as Sen, so what do I know? Sen Goku is my favorite DBZ character. Meh, I'm more of a Sen Gohan fan personally. Really? Getting on my case of a misspell? Pity. And most of the shit in this video isn't. This video I wrote to pieces the definition of petty. I've seen better arguments from the Ruby subreddit. I've seen better editing from Joe Osen. This was shit. Alright, it's done. Alright, now it's my turn. Go ahead and try. Welcome to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I would suggest watching that first in order to understand this cluster crab of a plot. Speaking of crab though, let's move on to JonFawkes' Everything Wrong with Ruby, Volume 2. In the first 5 seconds, we were met with obnoxiously loud music. Glad to see that in the year gap between the video my dark side covered and this, you have learned jack shit about editing, or syncing the audio correctly.
That is not the sound of closing a book.
That took me a couple of seconds. Yeah, a large book would make that kind of noise when shut in a way that Mercury closed it. Also, you wanted to talk about sound given the audio earlier.
I always kick my semesters off with the yang.
God damn it, Barb!
Oh my god, Yang made a pun. I better seen it. Also, random media clip in the CinemaSins ripoff. What, too lazy to make your own reaction so you had to show someone else's clip? Come on. Well, hey, it's a good thing you don't sin another pun in this.
Utter satisfaction.
Oh, come on. How is a pun a sin? Legit. How? You know what? Screw it. From now on, every time he sins a pun or reference to something, I am skipping it. Because if all he's gonna do is sin for a simple reference or pun, why should I repeat the question, why is this a sin?
Nope, don't recognize your face at all.
Probably because she couldn't. Seriously, in the pilot, Cinder's face was obscured by shadows and darkness, so there was no way Ruby could see said face. And if you want to argue the eye, she saw a glowing eye. This one isn't glowing.
Nonsense instead of actual dialogue.
And I see that you continue to miss the point of certain scenes being done for the sake of comedy. If you want to argue that some of your previous points were jokes, again, your tone is exactly the same, so it's very difficult to tell. Yeah, it's almost like tone means something in a lot of comedy.
These guys fall before they're even kicked.
So I decided to go frame by frame on this one, and guess what? The robots fall when the kick of the new ones hit their shoulder. Sure, it happens before the complete animation of the kick, but you can still see the boot of the new robots hit the older ones. For the sake of comparison, it's like kicking a small garbage can you have in, say, the bathroom. While you do the can falls before you finish the kick up to, usually about your stomach, because you're still putting enough force into the kick that it'll cause the can to fall over when your foot touches the can. Okay, yeah, this took way longer than it needed to. Hopefully I don't have to do that again for the rest of the comm.
Considering all the other superhuman feats we've seen so far, how is anyone surprised by this?
I'm not a real girl.
How is anyone surprised by this?
Because Ruby didn't know that Penny was a robot until this point. Even if it is possible to make androids or cyborgs, whichever term you want to use for Penny, it's still a surprise for Ruby to see someone she called friend a while ago be revealed as a robot, or android, whatever. Same thing with the super strength. Ruby didn't see that from Penny before, so it's a surprise to her that Penny could do that the whole time.
Penny is still best cinnamon roll.
Yeah, you and Dove can praise her later.
And they were never heard from again.
Where are Sun and Neptune?
They're probably fine, right? Probably.
The same episode. What the hell, JonFawkes? Anyways, this video is starting to drain on me, so let's just skip ahead.
What? Weren't you just drinking out of that thing?
You're questioning the logic of a coffee mug transforming into a weapon when we've seen canes transform into rifles, a scythe that could turn into a gun, and various other things in the series turning into guns. Seriously?
We need backup. Let me call Jean.
You need backup, and the first person you think to call is Jean.
Well, yeah. He's the leader of Team Juniper and all that. Plus, you know, he can notify the other teams about Team Ruby's situation. But sure, contacting John is clearly a stupid idea.
That blade could not have physically been in that sheath.
Yep, no way it could fit in there. Seriously, what the hell?
Well, at least we know what she does in her alone time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that and being a terrible parent. Oh, well, of course.
Nutshots are effective against Grimm.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. It's been a while since you showed up.
Well, you know what? I can't even be surprised anymore.
Yeah, you'll still send it anyways. Yeah, okay. And I am done with this shit. Christ, this was annoying to go through. Even though I caught out a lot of stuff, it was not because I agree with a lot of them. So why skip it then? Because I would be repeating myself. Hell, I probably already did that in this part alone. I don't know how Damon lasts in the song against your first part, but holy hell was this part repetitive.
Access granted.
Shit! That's right, you failed. Now, it's time to end this. Huh?
Not if I have anything to say about it. You clearly have control of the barrier for now. So as long as I keep blasting, you have to stand still. And the minute you slip up, it's over.
Oh no you don't. Eyes of heaven! This isn't over. I can still reach the door.
Oh no you
Shit! I won.
Don't you think you've won yet, you clown? David, we agreed we'd work together to stop this, right? That's exactly what we'll do. I may be out of power, but you're not, David. Now let's work together to stop him.
Right. Fine, let's end this. Welcome to part 3. If you haven't seen the previous parts, well, you might want to go watch them first in order to understand this crap fest. Now let's end this with Everything Wrong with Ruby, Volume 3. Oh my god, this is depressing now. Well, I do applaud you for having volume control on the song this time. The same problem with the syncing in music is still there. How do you screw this up 3 times in a row? It is so simple. Again, when you can't even get the intro right to a CinemaSins parody, that is not a good sign.
Ren, Nora, flower power!
Wait, what?
They seriously stopped the battle for this.
Well, yeah, based on the dialogue and actions out of that line, they have no idea what the hell John is talking about, so why would they jump into battle when they have no idea what their leader told them to do? Sounds like a stupid idea.
Crow drinks at the crowbar.
Oh great, sending puns again. Yeah, just like the last part, I am going to skip the sins that haven't bitch about puns or references, because by this point, I think the viewers who watched the last 2 parts know about my issue with this by now. As for everyone else, how the hell is a pun a sin?
The government and school are completely separate. Can you believe it?
Are they not separate in Atlas?
Given Weiss's dialogue in that bit, she pretty much implies that, yeah, the way Vale handles the connections between the government, military, and school is not the same in Atlas. In fact, it was explained in the series that Atlas's government, military, and academy are interconnected. So yeah, pay attention. Also, wrong Atlas. Though it would be cool to see the manifest personas, I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks to our clever little friend.
This screen implies that she's getting inside information from Ironwood. But how or why would he have access to the randomization process for the tournament?
Except, she wasn't getting the information from Ironwood directly. She hacked into Ironwood's scroll and got the stuff inside. Hell, she did before back in Volume 2 during the dance episode. And as for the tournament matchups, well, do you folks recall the scene in Volume 2 where Cinder went to that communications building? Well, it was explained that she injected a bug into said building, and that's how she was able to alter the matchups. The wording's a little vague, but clever little friend means the virus that she put into the mainframe. That's it. Especially since the Queen piece on the computer back in Volume 2 matches the one on Cinder's screen in this episode.
It take you a while though, since you're so, top heavy.
Boob joke.
Ah yes, the return of Captain Obvious. Thanks for your insightful sitting. We really needed you on that one.
Like magic.
So magic and dust and semblance are all different things? Why?
Because semblance is the manifestation of the person's innate and personal power, or in other words, a projection of their aura. Dust is an energy source, and magic as well. Supernatural shit. With those definitions in mind, I think you can see why now the 3 are separate things in this show, because they barely have anything in common to begin with.
If this is his aura being completely depleted, that shotgun blast should have knocked him out. But instead, he's up, and this happens.
Yeah, funny thing about that, the scene you just showed didn't actually happen. It was an illusion. In fact, in the same episode, we see exactly what happened. Mercury was down, and Yang punched him while he was down. In fact, to further prove my illusion point, Emerald states in episode 8 that she can make illusions. That's it.
Why would they disappear instead of continuing the fight if their goal was to get the maiden's power? They clearly outnumber him.
Because during the fight with Amber, they got their ass kicked for the most part. They were weakened before Crow showed up. Even if they did outnumber him, numbers mean nothing when their strength was dwarfed by a healthy Crow, especially given how much damage Emerald and Mercury took. Seriously, did you watch that episode?
One mind I can handle, but two is a stretch.
She obviously affected Yang's mind here, but who was the other mind? It's never explained.
Paramedics? Remember, Mercury was supposed to be injured, so Emerald had to keep that illusion going in order to get the paramedics to help him. In fact, the quote, "one I can handle, two is a stretch," further proves this point. Because how many paramedics were there carrying Mercury? Exactly.
So either you're lying, or you're crazy.
There's no other possible explanation. None at all.
Crow does not know about Emerald's illusion abilities. How could he assume that it could also be an illusion when he's never seen someone use an ability like Emerald's prior to this episode?
Let me guess. She didn't say a word, did she?
Yang, we have a lot to talk about.
Not a word.
Could also be referring to the train scene, aka the one where Raven saved Yang from getting killed by Neo, especially since we hear no mention of that after credits scene ever again. Even in Volume 4, when Raven shows up in one episode, when Crow brings up the rescue, she refers to the train scene, not the after credits scene.
Bunny Ex Machina.
I agree with this argument. First off, it was subtly built up in the last volume and this volume that her weapon has something to do with photos. Which it is. Her camera. And what was Velvet taking pictures of? Weapons. So it's not like this came out of nowhere, which is what a Deus Ex Machina is. 2. Deus Ex Machina usually solves an unsolvable problem just like that. How does Velvet's weapon solve this unsolvable problem exactly? Doesn't. In fact, as we see later, the other characters are able to take down the same robots Velvet used her weapon against. Hell, after she takes down one, she gets knocked out by one of the robots that she didn't fully destroy, so it didn't fully solve the problem. Hell, by that logic, Weiss's stand or whatever she unlocks in this very fight should also be classified as a Deus Ex Machina to you, even though we saw that also being built up earlier in the series. Parody! We'll get to that.
If Jean had just done his job and guarded the entrance like he was asked to, this wouldn't have happened.
No. It still would have happened even if he was guarding. Cinder is clearly stronger than him, so all she'd have to do is knock him aside, shoot the arrow, and done. Oh, and there's also the fact that in Cinder's previous fight, she can use her abilities to make materials like arrows out of dust and door the area around her, so she could easily shoot, say, an arrow, away from her arrow on the other side of the shield and hit her target, which is exactly what she did in the next episode to Pyrrha. Keep in mind that in said previous fights, she had half of the maiden power. Hell, even all the way back when she fought Amber, she was able to make those stones out of nothing, so it seems very plausible. Point is, regardless of what Jean could have done, Amber was still screwed.
This wouldn't have happened. If Adam's goal was to destroy, why did he only cut Yang's arm off instead of, say, cut her in half?
Yang's main weapon, that she takes great pride in, mind you, is her gauntlets, which are attached to her arms. Ergo, losing one of her arms would destroy Yang.
Also, what happened to aura and semblance? Yang's aura should have protected her. At the very least, her semblance should have kicked in before the permanent damage was done.
Oh boy, we got a gold mine here, don't we? 1. Yang had been fighting Grim and other enemies for a while prior to this scene, so she, and by extension her aura, would be weakened as a result of said fighting. It's also why she basically lost to Neo back in Volume 2. 2. Adam's semblance allows him to absorb and or block energy and redirect it at his opponents with one powerful blow. In fact, we saw that not only in the Black trailer, but earlier on when Blake was trying to attack Adam, and as shown with Adam's physique, he was barely exhausted from the fighting with Blake, so his aura and semblance would be stronger than Yang's at that point, meaning that on top of the absorbed bullets from Blake's gun, Adam could easily cut through the rest of Yang's aura and arm. Finally, 3. Much like Adam, her semblance only works if she hits an opponent. She didn't. Not even close. Even going frame by frame, there was no chance for Yang to hit him the moment he got into that stand. In fact, had Adam done nothing, she would have continued charging forward and crashed into a wall most likely. Fact is, unless Yang hits her opponent, her semblance is useless in battle, which in this case, it was.
Cinder does not stop them, even though they are obviously going to be a threat.
How are they a threat exactly? Especially when a few seconds prior, Cinder sends Jean flying with barely any effort. If you want to call those two a threat to her, go ahead. But, I think you might want to look up the definition of a threat next time. You know what? Screw it. Ending this video here, so final thoughts. I've been saving this one for a while. This was one of the worst CinemaSins ripoffs I've ever seen. Your points are absolute dog shit, your editing is shit, you ignore context for scenes you bitched about, including scenes that counter your points, and your lack of explanation for certain bits really bugs me because even CinemaSins at least tries to explain why something is wrong. This trilogy barely had any of that. Even on a joke front, this does not work. Look, I like Ruby, but I can see the flaws of this show. Hell, I addressed a few of them in the many presents, so it's not like I did this video because I can't stand those who hate the show. I get that this show has problems. But when someone's issues with the show are either because they ignored certain bits of an episode or barely have much weight to said complaints, then I'm going to jump to this show's defense because I think their reasoning is not that great. In other words, it's not the act of you complaining about the show that I take issue with, but your reasons for it. So what? It's a parody, so all your issues are invalid. I was just waiting for the right opportunity to dismantle that argument, and you just gave it to me. What? See, most parodies provide commentary on the original work. Whether subtly or not, they still mostly provide commentary. One example being South Park's parody on a Samwell song, where they provided commentary on the ridiculousness of the original video and viral nature of certain YouTube videos. So tell me, clone, where's the commentary on CinemaSins' original series? What are you poking fun at? Because to me, this looks about the same as CinemaSins' regular vids with the exception of the voice and media, even down to some of the jokes ripped right out of the source material. So again, where's the parody in this? Unless your idea of parody is sending stuff like puns and references, which, well, the CinemaSins have done the same thing, and it was just as stupid there, so that doesn't work. Really, I see this video trilogy as more of a ripoff than actual parody based on all of this. And don't even get me started on trademark law, because that's a whole nother issue in itself, especially when you plagiarize pretty much everything from CinemaSins right down to the thumbnail. So yeah, even your parody defense doesn't work here. It's over, JonFawkes clone. You failed. Your arguments have no weight, your threats have no weight to them, and even your defense has no weight to it. Impossible. This can't be happening. Well then, how anticlimactic.
2 hours later.
I'm done.
Wow, I don't feel a thing.
Of course not. He was in your mind after all.
Oh, okay. Well, it's over. It's finally over.
So, I take it you know what happened to Damon?
Yeah, I had a feeling he would disappear. He was originally a personified memory after all, so... Hey, can you calm the funeral for a bit? I'm trying to relax.
So?
What happened? I thought you reverted back into a memory. Did you forget I absorbed you from my dark side? Well, okay then. Look, this shit has gone on for far too long, so can we just wrap this up?
Yeah, you guys can go home now.
Thanks, Doctor. So, how do we end this commentary? The only way you can end any Ruby commentary. Hey, Ellie, Susan, Fawn.
Later.
You never see it coming.
Well, look, hold on. At least now I can sit back and